If you're a real estate agent who's looking to get your own custom branded real estate website, sales funnels, client funnels, landing pages, and all-in-one system, then you're going to want to watch this video today. Whether you're looking to build the website on your own or hire a professional like myself to build the website for you, this is a great video to watch because we're going to go over the Avada platform. This is the platform that we use in our real estate website and sales funnel system. Whether you purchase our DIY package or have us build it for you, this is going to give you great insight onto how to properly use this platform. Avada is one of the top purchase real estate website platforms out there, and I have used it for over 10 years because of its versatility that you can make it look like anything, and they're constantly updating this platform, adding even more features and making it even more easier to use as well. So if you want to learn more about this and you're interested in getting your own website, this is definitely a video you're going to want to watch till the end. So let's dive in. Hey everybody, it's me, Jacob Shireman, your real estate marketing expert. I have over 17 years of marketing experience specializing in web design and SEO, and I take that experience to help you grow your real estate business. So if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new content. And if you want to get my training, resources, coaching, and courses for free at no extra cost or split to you, take a look at partnering with me at eXp Realty inside the Agent Wolfpack. And there's a link below where you can book a one-on-one call with me to learn more. So let's get started. All right, so today we're talking about using the Avada platform, which is inside of WordPress. It is one of the best platforms out there. This is what I use for all of my real estate website clients, all of my web design clients that I've been using for over 10 years now. And I love this platform. It's super easy to use. They're always rolling out new features, and their support team is so responsive that if you have a problem, they're always willing to dive in and take a look. And the platform itself for a license is under $70. And what I like about it is when you're working with WordPress themes, generally some of these themes are kind of, you can only make it look kind of one way. Yeah, you can customize the content, the pictures, the colors and things, but the layout is generally the same. And yes, there's other platforms like Elementor, and I think Divi is another one. I've used them. I'm not impressed by them. I really love the Avada platform. In fact, we built our entire real estate website sales funnel system that you see where you can get the DIY version and do it yourself by following my step-by-step tutorials. Or you can have us customize the website for you, and then we give you more tutorials on how to maintain that website as well, so we can do the work for you. But we've built our entire business on top of this platform. And the reason why is it's not a template. They didn't design what you're seeing for us. We're just using the platform because you can make it look like anything. There's several easy ways to edit. You can edit like with the widgets and go in there and click each part, each container, each column, or you can just edit live if you're making quick updates right into it. You can click, you see the web page as is, you click in it, edit your content. So I want to go over some things to think about when purchasing this platform, especially if you're going to do it on your own and you're not even going to get the system that I have to offer. There's a link below where you can learn more about that. You can also book a marketing consultation with me to learn more, to see if it's the right fit for you and what we offer. And we're even offering now an entire 90-day coaching platform that is added to this service as well, where you can get one-on-one coaching with me as we build your real estate website. We optimize your Google business profile. We help you build a lead generation source. We give you a marketing plan, a plan to scale your business, and help you really kind of launch in 90 days. So if you're interested in that coaching, that link is there below as well. So what I want to do is share my screen, kind of give you an introduction to the platform, what things to look for, kind of how the options are laid out, where everything is at, and how you can edit, and kind of quickly go over the features and how you can get even more support with their really kind of in-depth video library of their platform. So I'm going to give you the best start possible when using the Avada theme. All right, so now I want to show you all the things that you need to know to be able to get started to build a website with the Avada platform. I love this platform. This is what we build all of our clients' websites on. And this is also the platform that we use with our real estate website and sales funnel system, because this platform is not like other templates. And I don't even like using the word template. That's why I like the word platform, even though it's a template inside of WordPress. With this template and platform, you can make it look like anything. They have pre-built websites. It's not like other templates where you're kind of locked into that look and feel. This is literally a website builder. This is why it's labeled that way. So it's very flexible. And if you look at all the downloads they've had, and they've been around, I've been using them for almost 10 years. You can see I have lots of licenses with them, and they're very inexpensive. So if you're not going to use, you're not going to go through my DIY sales funnel system where you can just click along and customize your website with our platform that we created, and you want to do this on your own, this is the best platform. I don't recommend all of the other ones that are out there, Divi and Elementor. I think this is easier to use, and I think it's just more stable. So this is my preference as a web designer of 17 years. So very inexpensive, $69. You don't really need to extend the support. You can if you want to, but I never did. So you would just add this to cart. Once you purchase it, you will come over to, your area downloads, and then you'll see your purchase, which obviously you see I have lots of licenses. And then you can come to download and click on that. And then you just want to download the installable WordPress files only. That's what I would do. It's going to download a zip drive, and that's how you're going to upload it into WordPress. Now, you will need to download either the PDF version or the text. I always do the text. This is going to give you your purchase code in there, and you're going to need that to be able to activate Avada to prove that you purchased this. You can only use this, I think, max 2 websites, so you'll have to buy a license for each website that you want to use it on. Okay, and then to install it, you just simply come over here. Now I've already installed it. You just come to themes, appearance, themes, and then say add new theme. Okay, and then you'd say upload theme, and then you would just go choose that file that you downloaded right there, this one. And then once you click on it, it'll upload it. You'll say install now, and then you'll just activate it. Now, once it's activated, you'll come over here. You'll see Avada has been installed, and this is where all the options for the theme are. And there's even some new updates that I'm going to show you that I'm actually excited about, that right before recording this, I was clicking around on and found. It's options I won't use, but it'd be great for, users that are not experienced in designing websites. But one of the first things that you're going to need to do, this will probably be red because you need to activate this. If you go to click on Avada or just go to the dashboard, you will need to put in that key. If you have multiple licenses, you can always manage them here. I recommend that. You can see which license is assigned to which website. But you'll put your license in here. You'll say register. And then once you're registered, it'll let you even get updates, because what happens is if it's not registered, you can't get updates. You can't activate anything because it's required. Okay. So once that's done, they even do have, let me see if I can go back to it. They had where there is let's see if I can do it again. But there is a way, if you go, I think it's under websites. There's a way now where it'll ask you step by step what you're wanting to do for your website. And it's probably because I already went through it. Let me see if I can find it. But it was really neat because it asks you, how do you want to build your website? And then it took me step by step. Do I want to import a website? Do I want to do my own? And it's right when I did the registered. Oh, well, so not important. You're not going to use it the way we're doing it anyways, but it was some basic features. You walk through and answer some questions. It had color palettes. It had font layout. So it's a great way to go through and do that again. But if I find it, I will let you guys know. So what I really want to show you is really how to use this platform. A lot of people get confused. If you understand how it works, then it actually makes it easier to build the website. So I'm going to go through each thing. It's probably going to be a long tutorial, but I just want to give you the basics of how Avada works. One thing that's really great is they have an amazing support system. So their resources, their help, they have tons of video tutorials on all of the elements, everything to do. They have a great support system, but they got a great YouTube channel. Okay. And then one thing that's really cool is they have pre-built websites for you. So you can see they've got tattoo studios, Zant Studio, Advanced Dispensaries Business, real estate, all of that. So we're going to work with this one. This is a new one that they used. So we're just going to go with that one, but they have pretty much for every industry, but you can find whatever design you like and then see if the features work with it. But you can come in here and import it and then just customize it from there. So you're already kind of starting off with a great design. And then you just have to customize it and put your content in there. Okay. So the way that you would do this, let's say you want to import, which is what we're going to do. You would come over here to Avada Websites, and then you can import a pre-built website. So let's go ahead and we can preview this one if we want. This is the real estate website. So very straightforward, simple. It kind of looks like Zillow, which is great. Very clean website. We could use this as a template if we wanted to and customize it, which I'll show you how to do. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here. So whatever website you find, just click import. And then you will need to install what it's asking you to install. So you just click install and it's active. And I always tell it to import all content. That way I'm working with, everything that they have. It'll import all the pictures, the posts, all that. You're just going to want to make sure that you customize everything. And then whatever you end up not using, you unpublish or delete those photos. So it doesn't affect any SEO or people find a page that has nothing to do with your business. So it's going to take a few minutes to import because it's replacing everything. Now, one thing to understand is whatever content you had on the website, just make sure that you don't want to lose any of that because it's going to write over that. All right, so now if we go and check out our website, so you can always hover here, click visit site. It's a quick way to go. So you don't have to go back and forth. And there we go. It imported the website. Now we just have to customize this and figure out what they did. So one of the first things that we're going to do is refresh this because I want to make sure, see, we got agents in there. It's added all these custom fields for sale, for rent. So it's kind of created its own listing kind of feed. So it's using those, but if you're using like an IDX plugin, you would just replace that code on the portion of that site for that. And we'll talk about that. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do is take a look at yourself, familiarize yourself with it, because you see right away, we're going to need to replace that logo. Maybe we need to update the fonts. Maybe we need to change some of the color schemes. So that's what we're going to take a look at. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And then we're going to change all of our options here with the Avada options. So these will be all of our global options. And what that means is this is kind of where we're going to change a lot of our typography, which is your fonts, your color scheme. You can swap out your logo here, your main logo. So we would replace all of these. So you would just simply come here to upload, select the file, upload it in there, and then replace it with each thing. So default logo, retina folder, which is usually 2 times the size of your regular logo. Don't upload huge files of these, okay? You want them to be relatively kind of smaller, maybe max, 400 pixels wide, maybe max 100 pixels tall, depending on the shape of your logo. Rectangular logos work best on websites. So if you have a big stacked logo, you could unstack it and put everything side by side. If you need help with logos, let me know. But sticky header is when you scroll like this. And if the header sticks at the top, this would stick around the whole time. That's what a sticky header is. And then your mobile logo would go here. Okay. And it's just usually a smaller, quicker to load logo. The other thing that we would probably do is play with our typography. So you see here, they have a lot of typography sets. So you would just come in here and choose, your font family for all of your headings, your subheadings, your lead, heading large, heading alt. And that's just so that you don't have to go in and change it all here. If you take a look, here, it's all, you have to change each individual one of these. So it's better to just do the global as well, but you can change them here as well. But this is where we change all the head typography for H1 tags, H2, H3, H4 headers, and so on. Your body typography would be like all of your captions, kind of like your paragraph captions. So if we look at this, this would be kind of our headers. This would be a header. This would be our body. This would be body as well. And you'll see how we'll do the bodies as well. Like this is a body, this is a header. Okay. So you would change those as you want. So link color would basically be if you want the link to stand out. A lot of times we don't use that quite as much anymore, but you can. I like to use it sometimes so people know, like when you say, contact me by clicking here, here could have, a different color. And then basically link color, that's what it would be. So if you want it to be the same as the body typography, you would just leave it the same. If you want your link hover color, you would change that as well. Now, you're going to see there's a lot of global colors here. We're going to talk about that. I would probably wait till I've changed my global colors, because if you change this color in the global colors, it will automatically update here. So answer all these questions. This is going to talk about, do you want it to underline when you hover over? Just remember, hovering over just means this. This is how the link displays normally, but when you hover over it, you see that it shows it's underlined and by. So this is controlled in a different section, but when you're in an area and you have links, how do you want it to operate? That's what it's asking for, okay? And then, so that's the first place I would customize. The second place would be the colors, okay? And you can delete the ones you don't want if you don't need all these secondary, but you can go through. Now, this is like the main color, the alternate color, the icons, the text. So what they're doing here is they're creating a consistent color palette. So all of our icons will be this light gray color, text will be this color, this is our darker color. And so they're labeling these, but what's great about it is if I decide I'm going through here and I say, you know what, I like the layout, I'm gonna leave everything the same, I'm just gonna put my content in, but I don't like this red, I want to use, blue. I can come in here in the main and alt colors and just alter those slightly by coming over here, putting in the color code, which is the hex code, which is what uses the number sign. But let's say I wanted to do that. If I were to come back and do that and hit save changes, all of the things that use that alt color would now update to blue. So it's not like you have to go to every page and update every color that used that. So that's why we use these global colors. So that way, if we need to make one edit, it updates appropriately on every page. So you're going to hear that word a lot, global, but it's a good thing. It saves us time. So change the color schemes the way you want it. I would, if you're going to use a site like this, I would go see everything that they use and figure out what color you want to swap that for. That way you're not having to go to every page and change the colors. You can just do it automatically and create a color scheme. Now, next thing that we're going to focus on is we're going to come down here to advanced, and you're going to see code fields. Now, this is where you would put any of your scripting. Okay, so if you have some Google Analytics tracking code, maybe you have, that would go up here in the tracking code. Maybe you have some Facebook pixels, I would install those here. This is where you can put those scripts when it tells you it needs to be before the closing head tag or closing body tag. Usually this is more for your little corner chat boxes and things like that. So this is where you will control all of that as well. Now, we're going to talk about builder elements in a little bit, but all of your builder elements are right here. So this would be like your buttons, your text boxes, your title tags. It will be a lot of those things. And so you can see all of them are here. And this is where you can customize the default of most of these. You'll still have control when you add them to a page, but this is a great way to control all of the default sizes, colors, and things like that. So if you have something that you're tired of changing it over and over again, usually you can change the default here. Now, when you upload or you update your colors, it should automatically update the colors in here too, okay? And then, so some other things to notice is there's layouts, okay? And layouts is super important because this is what really kind of templates our website for us. So we're not putting the menu, building a page and having to put the menu and the banner and all these same layouts that we do over and over. We can template, like this is a header template. So every page that has this template applied to it will look like this. So I only have to edit the one template for it to take effect on every page that uses this header template. Same thing with banner template. Maybe we want the same layout on every page. Well, guess what? I don't need to design that on every page. I can just have my title box where I put in the title, and I could have it use the featured image as the background. So there's ways to do all of that. So we're going to go through layouts, and each template you use would have a different layout. If you want to design your own template from scratch or add a new layout to a page, you can do that. Avada has really great templates on how to do that and videos. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you can see down here, this is the global layout. So this would be the default layout if one hasn't been applied to a page. You see we have the home page layout. We have a single home for sale page layout, a single page for rent, all of those things, okay? You notice some have header tags and some don't. So the ones that don't have the header template, it's going to always use the default. So if one of these boxes hasn't been filled in, that's okay, because it just wants to use what's on the page that we built. Then this header will take over. So whatever, if the title bar is missing, footer's missing, it's always going to default to the global layout. Now, if your global layout doesn't have anything, it's going to default to what's been on the page that you made. Okay. So those are those things. And so let's say you wanted, maybe you wanted all of these all capital letters. You want to change the colors of your header, or your menu bar, or whatever you see up here. You would come over here and edit the global layout page. Now, so let's say we were on the single home property page, I would have to edit that header for it to take effect. So you just find the page that has it, and you can see all of them. If you say manage conditions here, hover there, you can assign this template to, a specific page, a specific groups of page, all of those things. So this is how you apply a layout, whether it's to a post or things like that. And like I said, Avada explains that in depth. I just want to give you a quick overview of how to use this. So let's say we wanted to edit our global layout. I want to have all capital letters on my menu. So I'm going to come here. Okay. So we have global header. Now this is going to be for desktop. This is going to be the layout for mobile and tablet. So they're just using kind of widgets here. You can see there's 2 column and then there's 1 across. We'll talk about what that means. When you see something grayed out like this, that means it's a global property. And the reason why they did this is they're using this global property on other layouts. So that way it updates everything. So you don't have to keep updating more and more things. So if you, let's say you have a newsletter box and you put it on every page, but there was a spelling or you're changing your phone number, you would have to go to every page and upload that. But if you do a global element, you just have to update one of those and it will update all of them because they're using that template. And I know that sounds confusing, but once you get to using it, you'll understand. So global header, this is using, you can see the little pancake stack or whatever you want to call it. It's really just means that it's dynamically using, in the options we did, it's using the logo that you assigned there. Okay. So let's say that we wanted to edit the font. Okay. You would come in here, go to main menu, and then you could change the font. Let's say I want it to be all capitals. I would come over here and say all caps. Okay. Now, and then I'm going to come over here, do the same thing. Oops, sorry. Main, and then we're going to say all caps. Okay. And then there's a menu here. So let's see what that one is. We're going to do all caps as well. And if we look here in the extra, hold on 1 second. When we look here, we see the element visibility. So it's basically, this won't show on small screens like a mobile. So that's how you can know, like, why do they have 3 menus? Well, this one is for all screen devices. So, but it's in one of these that is made for mobile tablet because they've assigned it down here for all screen types. So if they didn't uncheck it here, we can go to extras, and now they've added a logic for actual device type. So the device has to equal a mobile or tablet for it to use this box. So this will only display to mobile and tablet things. Okay. So we got all those updated. Now we say update. And if we go refresh this, we should have all caps right there. So that's how you would do that. Now that saved me time from going to every page and updating that. Okay. So that's kind of the quick rundown of layouts. I know it's not very in depth, but there's plenty of information out there. You just have to go look for it. But just remember, these are the pages. So if you come to a website that doesn't have a page, that error page you get, this is it. This is the single blog post page. This is the global archives page. This is the properties page. It's telling you which page when you come over here that it's doing. And you can take away from a page, edit this as you want. If you're just trying to get a website up, leave the things here and then edit what's there and make your content fit. And if you don't need a section, you just delete it. Let's say you want to put your IDX feed in here and not use theirs. You just delete this and put your IDX feed code in there. And that's what I'm going to show you. So those are some of the basic things. There's more in here, more settings, more options. Just notice that in most of the new Avada layouts, the header and menu options are kind of obsolete, because if you click on them, it's going to say it's controlled by layouts, because this is a new feature they launched a couple years ago. So layouts is a big deal. And then I'll go over these real quick because these will be important too. The Avada forms, you can use their forms inside of here, so you can create your own custom forms, and it's going to use the same kind of techniques that you edit a page with, where you can do the layouts, you can make columns, straight across, you can do conditional logic, you can add, here's text box fields, you can add those in there. And then I've done some other videos on this. And then what do you want to do when it submits? You always need to save to database. If you're using something like Zapier, then you need to send it to a URL for a webhook. You can add notifications. Do you want to send an email to the user? Do you want to send an email to yourself? So you do this. You want what type of confirmation? You want to display a message, so it'll use this notice here. So there's all kinds of videos on forms, but this is where you could use forms without having to use another form builder, or you can embed your own Jot forms and things like that. So you'd manage your forms through there, or you can use Ninja Forms and download a plugin for that. I just recommend using what they got. They work great. They look great, especially for basic forms. You don't need anything else. The other thing to do is off Canva. This is really great because this allows you to do like fly out menus. It also lets you do pop-ups and stuff. So you can control kind of layouts and things like that. And with off Canva too, you can do like pop-ups. So this is how you'd say like, hey, subscribe to my newsletter. You could create one in here. There's tons of videos on it, but this is where that would be. And if you have pop-ups that's using on Canva, this is where you control it. A lot of those things are controlled in here. I just tell you, explore, go watch some videos. Remember, I didn't learn this overnight. I've been using this for 10 years. That's one thing. If you design the website yourself, don't expect to be able to just build a website in a month or two and it's going to look like you hired somebody, because remember, I've put in 17 years in designing a website. So you can replace the content and keep a basic website to get you started. And that's what I want to show you with this today. All right, so let's talk about editing the website. So a lot of these are pages. Let's say we're going to just edit the home page for now and show you some things. And then you can go watch my other videos on building a website and funnel and take those concepts, and now you know how to properly edit. So to edit a page, there's a couple ways you can do it. If you're logged in, I could right click and say edit page. All right. Or I can come over here to pages and select the page I want. If you have this because you just installed the website, go ahead and trash that. It'll save in your trash can. So don't worry, if you accidentally delete something, you can always recover it. But that's just the sample page that it gives. Okay. So now we're in the page. So if we look here, I'm going to go ahead and minimize all of these. We got features, listing types, feature 2, homes for rent. So if we look right away, I don't think we have a banner. So see, so this is where it's starting at. So our banner is because if we go back to our global layouts, here's our homepage banner. Okay. So I would now know that, okay, well, if it's only starting with this content here, right? So the other things are controlled somewhere else. So we know where the menu is, the header. This would be the page title. So let's go see what it's doing. So the page title's in here for the home. So this is where you would edit it. So they created a form. to search, okay? And then we could replace this with our search script. So if you have a short code, if you're using a WordPress plugin for something like kvCORE or Lofty, then you can insert that code here by just deleting that form, coming over to design elements, put in a code block, put in that script, okay? And we're gonna go through the elements here in a minute, but this is where you could customize this content, okay? So that way, if you're looking for something, you don't know where it's at, more likely it's probably on the layout section, okay? So I basically would come here. Now, the way things work with the builder, there's two types of builders too. There is the live builder. I like it, but I edit faster with this widget. And this is only great for, let's say that you need to make like a quick change. And I'll show you kind of without being all over the place why it works, why it doesn't. Let's say you just want to put, I don't know, lease a home. You didn't like the word rent. So you can come in here, click edit, and you're seeing and editing in like real time. Like you can come over here and say lease a home. And you can say, you know, finish changes. Some of these you can actually just click right into it, like right here, just like using Microsoft Word. All the options are over here. What I don't like about this is you got to go into each view and make your change, because some of these views, like right here it stayed, but some of these views might have like an extra box. Let's say they don't like the way it lays out. They could have an extra box down here that only shows on mobile view. So if you edit it on desktop view, that will never show up. So you just have to be careful that if are some mobile only or tablet only layouts, that you would have to click through. Let me go back to it. You would have to click through the editing of what to show it as, so you can make sure it's laid out properly. Okay. But it's a great way to visually to see kind of what's happening. And just know too, that because it's inside of a frame, it's responsive. So it's resizing based on, you know, the frame that it's in. So just because something goes to the next line doesn't mean it's necessarily going to do that, because it depends on the user's screen size, because they're taking up space with this column over here. Okay. Now, so that's one way you can edit. Go for it if it's easier for you. I don't prefer that method. I like this method. So these are basically laid out a certain way. These blue things are containers. So your container would be kind of this whole area right here. Okay. This whole kind of for sale area, that is your container. Okay. Even though it's kind of invisible, that's your container. Okay, because we see listing and types underneath. So this is new listings. That's another container. So it's basically like a section on your website. Okay, inside of your container, you have columns. So this one particular one, we have 3 columns. Okay, and then we have a nested column, so we can have more columns inside of that. Okay, and then if we look at this one, we have a lot of different columns. We have one that we have 2 columns up here. That's 4/5 of the width, and this is a 1/5 of the width. Then we have another row with 1 column, but this is a section with multiple rows, which would be your column and rows. So if you have kind of, you see all these are rows, and then inside of your rows you have columns. So if you know fractions, you can do fractions here. If you click the little edit button, you can see the design. Here's 4/5. You can also do a custom width, you know, 80%, 20%, whatever you want. Okay. So in each section, we have rows and columns. You'll never add a row. It automatically adds the row for you. But let's say I wanted to add a column here, or maybe a button underneath. I could come here and say column, and it's going to add that column into that current container. And then I can select my layout. So let's say I wanted to do 1 and I wanted to add a button. I would come over here to add element, and here's all of my elements. Okay, you can search for an element. So if you don't want to scroll, you can add a button. And then on your button, you always have a general tab, a design tab on most of these elements. Your general tab is just going to be some basic options. Design obviously is going to do with the colors, the radiuses, and things like that. I'm not going to go into each option because Avada already does a great job with that. And you're just going to have to experiment. So you come in here, button text, here's the URL. Do you want it to open up in the current tab? Do you want to open up in a new tab or open in a light box? Maybe it's an image. Do you want it to be centered, right aligned, float to the left, all of that? If you're going to do a modal anchor, you can put it in here. Modal is just another word for a pop-up as well. You can do them inside there instead of off Canva. And then do you want to use the button's default color scheme? If you're not, you can click custom. And now you can do a gradient. If you want it to just be a solid color, make sure that these are the same color. And then you'll go through, answer all those questions. And then you see this little button here. That is for the default state. And when you hover over, that's why it's got a little kind of mouse clicking and hovering over something, you change that. So remember, whatever this color is, we see that it was a different color. It's lighter. And when you hover over it, it gets darker. And so you can come in here and use your global colors. You can put in, your own hexadecimal color, or you can click here and choose a color. Okay. So you go through, just make sure that you've done your hover and your default state. And then you would just say save, and then you have a button. Okay. So I'm going to delete that. But you would go through each page and edit the elements. And if you want to add, maybe you're wanting to add a new, say we want to add, for a newsletter sign up, I can come down here, add a container. And then when I click insert container, it's going to put it at the bottom. And then I select the rows that I want. So maybe I kind of want like a 1/3, 2/3. I'd put the, form over here, and then I want the other space to be blank. But I can come over here, I can name it and say, newsletter sign up. I can come in here and choose a form. So you can go to your Avada forms that you created. We'll just do request a tour. Okay. And then you can come over here. I can add a title. Want to view this property. Actually, we said this in newsletter. Sign. Newsletter. Okay. And then we would come down here and maybe add some text. So you come down here and add a text blocks. And it's just like editing Microsoft Word. Subscribe to the latest updates about everything Houston and real estate. I don't know. And then in the design tab, same thing for the title. You can control like how much spacing. So the margin is basically kind of where it is on the page. So if you want there to be some spacing between the title and the text box that's beyond the default spacing, I could add it there. I can say, I want 10 pixels px. Okay. And then I don't want any spacing to be below. I want it to, not push down. I want a specific font for this. I want a font size. I want it to be all caps, no caps, or just capitalize the first letter, or just use the default, or no text transform. Okay. So that would override the default. You can change the color. It's automatically going to use the default when it's empty, or I can say, you know what, I want this to be secondary teal, and I can save that. And then right there's the form. Here's my text. And then you can, edit the container box as well. So you have your general tab. Do you want it to be 100% width? So right now it's using the actual, you see everything's kind of lines up equally. That's using the site width. So nothing will go beyond this. But let's say that you want the picture to go edge to edge like this. Well, then you can choose 100% width. But if you choose 100% width, that means the content inside the box is going to go to the edge. So that's where we can come over here and select how we want it to do. So if you want the width and you want it to go beyond this normal site width, you would do 100% width. Full height would just mean that if I wanted this banner or my container to be 100% the height of the screen, I would check that. Okay. Do I want the content in the container to, float to the top, float in the middle? float to the bottom. So like the content here, you can see it's equally floating. So I would choose kind of like the middle. And so that's more of your vertical height. This is more of your justification for the columns. Do you want them to automatically center in the middle? Do you want them to float to the left, float to the right? All of that. So it'll explain all these options with Avada, but I kind of want to go through the process of editing these sites. Your margin, do you want there to be some spacing between the column? Do you want there to be padding? So we talked about with the container, if I were to select 100% width, this text would go all the way over here. Now, the reason the image is 100% width is because it's a background image of that container, but the content inside the container, the elements, we can control the width of that. So maybe I want it to come like right over here, but not directly to the edge. Then what I would do is say, you know what? I want my padding to the left to be 50 pixels, okay? And pixels is just a measurement with px. You can do percentages as well. So maybe I want to do like that, or I want to do like a 5% width. Okay, you can do it that way. You can also write it this way, 5% of the viewing width or the viewing height. That's how you can, those are all measurements. And you just play around with them so you can kind of get a feel of what 50 pixels looks like, or 5% or 2%. That would just keep it proportionate. If you use a percentage or the VW or the VH, it would keep it as a percentage so you can keep those ratios. So you just put in your padding, your top, right, bottom, and left. You can control the container link colors. Remember, if you see this circle, that's for the default state, and then this is for the hover state. Make sure you update both. If you want there to be a border around the container, you can put in the border size. You want to be a thin border, you put 1 pixel. If you wanted a thicker one, you put 5 pixels. Again, just play with it. And then this would be your border color. Border style, do you want it to be a solid line, a dashed line, a line, dotted line? Your border radius, this would be like, do you want it to be curved? So like these text boxes have a border radius because it's not like a perfect square with a corner, like a sharp kind of 90-degree corner. So if you have that, you might want to do an 8 pixel. If you do something that's like 50 pixels to 100, that's going to give you more of like a curved, like a circle button. But like all of these buttons have a natural, it's probably about an 8 pixel just around the corners. That's how you would round the corners. You can add a shadow to your box. You can control the backgrounds of any column, any container this way. So you can choose background colors. Maybe I wanted this to be a light gray because maybe I wanted to break up that kind of color scheme so it's not all just white boxes. You can actually see the division. You can do a gradient. You put your start gradient, your ending gradient, start position, all of those things. Again, each one of these elements and things has a video tutorial, so just go look it up. You can do your background image, just upload an image. So we'll just put one in here. Let's see what they got. In the media library, we'll use this image. Okay. And so it gives me options. Do I want to center it? So it would start here. And then depending on the size of the container, it would crop. So if you definitely want it to be up towards the top left, maybe it's a picture of a person standing here, you could do that as well. So you would just play with it, all these different options. And it's pretty simple. It would basically start at the top or on the right side and in the center. So it'd be this position, but it'd start in the middle of the picture. So basically it'd be starting right here, okay? Do you want the background to repeat? Usually no. Background size, you can control that. Do you want it to fade? The parallax means like when you scroll, do you want the image to move inside the container up or down to reveal more part of it? And then the blend mode, this is super cool. So let's say that on this picture, the text is hard to read. I can do an overlay here. And you don't have to edit it in a Canva or anything like that. You can just come in here and say background blend mode. And you can come over here and say overlay. And then you come back up here to background color. And you can put, let's say I want to do a black overlay. And then you can come over here. You can either come and click this button. Oops, not that button. Let's say I clicked on dark. Okay. And then what we can do is we can set our transparency. This is the one I wanted to click. If you select one of these, you can alter the transparency with right here. And I can say, you know what? I want it to be -20 transparency. And so it'll be lightly. So you'll still be able to see the image through, but it'll have more of a darker overlay. If you wanted it to just slightly overlay, then you would go higher, like 80, and then you could see it's barely there. And so it would apply that overlay to the picture. Now, if you select a color like this, you would just come over here and select this, and then this is the transparency. So you kind of see where you're at. And then obviously that's 45% right there. Okay. So you could save that. You can do all that. And then if we were to say update, it's going to look ugly, but that's all right because I didn't really edit a lot of settings. But you can see that it's going to add it down here. Okay, but there was my overlay. So then I would look at this and go, oops, I need to change my font to my title to white text, right? Because now we have that dark overlay. So you would just come in here, go to design, and then I could change my font color. If you notice that there's too much padding or kind of spacing, you can come over here and edit that, okay? So you can come over here and say 0. It's only got 8 pixels, so it's not that big of a deal, but it'll tell you what the default is for the top and the bottom, okay? So just explore with those settings. And if you don't know, just go look up that element on Avada, and they give you a tutorial on how to use it. They show you different ways to customize it, but that's basically how you're going to build it. And let's say we wanted this higher up. I would just click on this and drag it where I want it. And if I want to delete it, I can get rid of it. And then maybe you like the way you did this and you want to use a similar layout on another page. You can save this as well, this container, or save the element. Maybe you like the way you do your buttons and you're going to use that on multiple pages instead of redoing that setting each time. You can come over here and just click the save button, save the element. You can save the column. You can save the container. You can save whatever you want. And then you just go to that page. Let's say I was going to do a container. You come over here to your library and you select the container. Same thing in the element. Come over to the library and select the element. Okay. So let's go through the elements real quick. So alert element would just be like a page alert that would say, you know, give a warning or a message. You can add audio, forms, there's sliders. You can add a blog feed, breadcrumbs, buttons, charts, checklist. You can also do circle info, code block, content boxes, countdowns, counter boxes, counter circles. You can add Facebook pages, embed those in there. Frequently asked questions, flip boxes, galleries, Google Maps. Your options are endless. There's so many things. They're always adding more. Table of contents, tag clouds, text blocks, titles, toggle boxes, a login section, view counter, YouTube videos, where you just literally put in the link to the YouTube video and it automatically embeds it. Same thing with Vimeo. You can embed your own video that you didn't upload to a platform. You want to just do it from your site. There's so much you can do. Star ratings, add your social media links, progress bars, add, a person, which would be like if you're creating a team of people, there's already a layout for that. So there's so much things that you can do. And you basically create your section. So you would just look at a website. If you found a website you like, and I wanted to recreate this, I'm going to look at this and go, okay, I need a container that needs a gray background. This is obviously a column image because there's content on top of it. And then this is another column. So it's probably 50-50 or, half and half. And then I need a text box. I need some buttons in there. So that's how you can kind of look at a website and recreate it if you find an element that you like. So I know this was like a very broad overview. There's probably so much more we can do. But I don't want to go over how to install WordPress, set it up. I want to kind of get you familiar with these Avada things. The last things too, I guess I could show you would be on these page options. A lot of this is going to say that this page is you can't edit the header options because it's controlled by this. So if you realize like, man, why can't I change this slider? Well, it's probably because if you go to page title bar, it's controlled here. So you can click here and go edit it there. So that's some other things with the options. That's cool. Same thing with content. Content's not managed by anything. So you can control maybe the content padding on the top or bottom of the page, all of those things. your footers as well. So if you need to edit the footers, you would go to the footer layout and edit the footer and do it the way we told. You can edit things. There's SEO stuff. I recommend you download like SEO, all-in-one SEO, and things like that. You can import and export a page as well. Your featured images are going to go over here. This would be more for your blog post ideas, and things like that. You would make sure you click update on everything as well. And that's basically how you're going to update a web page. And if you don't need a section, guess what? Let's say I don't need that newsletter sign up. I just delete it. If you can't figure out what to put in that area, save it. Maybe you'll think of something later, but you can literally go buy, sell, and you can put these for pictures of homes. If you don't want this, silly pictures, this animated pictures, you can go in. Like I said, you can put your IDX scripts in here as well, and just go through and edit all of these pages as well. Sorry, I clicked something wrong. And then just make sure that you edit every post of the page. So there's posts. This is where all your blog posts will be. Okay. So if you're not going to use these, go delete them and add your own. The hello world you can delete. It's just the default one when you first install WordPress. And like I said, if you can use all of these things or you can use some of them, it just gets you started with a layout so you can start doing content on your own. And really just go watch some of the Avada videos that they have on their channel, and you'll learn to get a feel for how this works, where all the options and settings are. But if you can't find something, it's probably under options here or under layouts. Your forms are stored here. A lot of your pop-ups are stored here and as well. And then you can create libraries and feeds as well here. That's another thing I could probably show you real quick. You can create postcards, would be just basically, this is kind of a feed layout. So when blog posts are in your, you add a blog post, you don't have to manually go add it to every page that has a blog post feed. It automatically puts that feed in there. And then instead of using the default Avada blog post layout feed, you can create your own here. It's a little complicated, but this is where you would update anything. Let's see if there's a blog post feed. So here's the blog post feed. Maybe you didn't want it to say admin, or you just wanted to say the date. So then you would come in here to the blog post feed and you would just delete the terms. Okay. You come over to terms, see what terms they're using. They're using category, but you can keep that. If you find the listing where it shows that, you would just go delete that term. Maybe you wanted this to be all caps. You can go edit that here in the library elements as well. The great thing is, so let's go back to the home page and I'll show you one last thing. So as we're on the home page, let's say that we don't like that element, but we can't figure out where that library element is or which one it is. All I have to do, oops, let me undo that. And here's another thing. If you accidentally delete a container, it's okay. You can either refresh the page if you didn't make a lot of edits, or you can just come over here and click deleted container and it'll put it back for you. Okay. So I'm gonna delete that because I don't want to see that. So homes for rent. Here's a postcard. So if you click on one of these postcards, which would be your feed. So maybe you want to change the way the homes for rent, the hello world, these strategies, things like that. You can come in here. Sorry, let me go back here. You can see the postcard, property card boxed. So now I can come back over to the library and I can say, I only want to see postcards. I can filter that. And then I can say it was property card box. Now I know that's the one I need to edit. Now just remember, every feed that uses that property card box will be updated. Okay. But that's how you can find it. So if there's a blog feed, so here's all the blog card, blog post card, you can go edit blog post default. You can edit all of those and those libraries as well. So throughout the websites, whatever one you choose, they're probably going to have some really cool layouts. That's how we can get all these custom layouts. This is why this platform is so amazing. It's very in depth. But again, it's just going to take some time to learn. So I wanted to give you like a quick overview of this platform to show you how to edit this. So you can literally just go, if you don't want to purchase my DIY funnel, you are happy with the look of this, you just want to customize it with your pictures and colors and area, go for it. You always got to do something to get started. Just remember, it's going to be a learning curve. but there's so many Avada videos that you can go watch. So I just wanted to give you kind of how it's laid out, library, for certain feeds. You got your layouts that you would have to edit, your color schemes, your fonts, go change out the images, the text, and get yourself your websites set up. And then if you have a plugin like with kvCORE or whatever that's for WordPress, you would install the plugin over here and then just go insert your scripts either into the text box or into the code box element. And that's how you use Avada. And go watch plenty of videos that are specific to that element or thing that you're trying to do, because I could literally spend months teaching this because there's so much to it. But I wanted to give you the basic layout, the basic feel of how this platform works. Go create a website. And if you need help, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. All right. So I hope you found this information helpful. It's my goal to truly give you something that you can take away today and start implementing to grow and scale your real estate business. And a real estate website that is automated, that is increasing your online presence is truly important, and that is optimized to capturing leads, because this is the heart of your business and literally the bloodline and the life of your marketing plan, because everything should go to and from your website. So if you have any questions about what I went over, drop those down in the comments below. If you'd like to schedule a marketing consultation to learn more about our DIY package where it's already done for you, you follow the steps to customize it. Or if you'd rather have us do it for you, we can go over those in the marketing consultation. So book that as well. And if you're interested in our kind of real estate website lead gen marketing system, with the coaching, it is a 90-day program. We're only taking 5 people at a time. So it's a very limited program. There's an application below where you can fill out that application and be considered for an interview and be considered into this program. Because like I said, I'm only taking 5 at a time. It's a 90-day program. Not only will you get a beautifully built real estate website that's automated, that's optimized for lead capture, that automates everything about your business online, that helps you increase your online presence. We're going to optimize your Google business profile as well. And on top of that, we're going to do your SEO for those 2 months once your website goes live. So the whole goal of this is to give you a great kind of fast start for 90 days and 10x your real estate business. On top of that, we're going to be coaching you on a bi-weekly and weekly basis, depending on the month, to make sure that everything is implemented, that you know how to use these tools, that you have the right marketing plan, you're focused on the right things. We're going to coach you to success in those 90 days. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and fill out that application below to be considered for an interview. If you want to get access to my Google business profile course, my real estate website DIY system, groovy social media content done for you, and access to all of the Wolfpack's resources as well, take a look at partnering with me by clicking that link below to book a one-on-one call with me to take a look at partnering with me at eXp Realty inside the Agent Wolfpack as well. And again, if you want to keep seeing content like this, you know what to do. You got to support me by subscribing to my channel, giving this video a like, hitting that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.